Good morning, YouTube. How are we doing today? So this is the latest benchwork update, and if you notice, the roundhouse is missing. I've ultimately decided to take it out because it was almost hidden back here, and I wanted to bring it to the front. So, I mean, because it's such a cool feature, and I'm gonna have to put a type of helix here. So this is 35 inches wide, and it's almost 40 inches deep. And from that wall to over there is 14 feet long. So let me explain what I'm gonna do. So all this is, I'm taking all this out, and this is gonna be brought over there. So let's go over there and I'll show you what I'm doing over there. Okay, here is the roundhouse we've got to put in. Ultimately, like I said, I decided I want to bring it to the front and make it more visible, easier to access, easier to work on. So yeah, I figured this part out. There's the car house back over there. This is going to be my programming track right here. It's going to be isolated from the main line. So I'm going to isolate it right. I'm probably going to isolate it right back here where it connects. And that way I have power on this track. So all I got to do is just kind of like move the locomotive up and then take off on the layout. We're going to put the powerhouse back here. And the coal mine will be up on the upper levels. I've got a hot wire, and I started doing some work like that. So this little mountain right here, I know it's off the wall, but my lightning for my lightning storm from Broadway Limited, I'm going to hide the wires back there. I'm either going to put it on the top and see how that looks, or on the bottom. I'm going to test both, but I got the hot wire so I could start doing some mountain work and stuff. And obviously we got to plaster it and do all that stuff. But, and that gave me an idea to put little things on the back like this piece, to give it some depth. So, we've got our just lights in started. So I still have to get a light in that roundhouse right there, or that house right there. I've got to get some more lights. I got one over in another engine house that I'm not going to be able to use, so or at least for now. So I'll probably take that light out, pop it in this one, and then this will be all done and lit up. I actually got my AR1 module installed. I'm going to put the controls for the turntable in here. These are I'm not gonna use these. I actually have a momentary switch that goes up and down. I mean, so I can switch the turnout and back, and I know how to wire that up, so we'll do that. But my plan is when I get the fascia on for like all these turnouts, I've got some plexiglass, and I'm going to probably build a real short piece of plexiglass out here, something that you can reach over in this, and I'll back paint it with paint and put where you see the track on it and all that. I know you guys have seen that before, and then I know which switch I'm switching. So that's the plan. And I'll put little pieces, like I'll probably have one over here for all these, and then I'll have one over here for all these, and then probably one for these, and I'll do the same up top too. That brings me to the next plan. After I do that, I'm going to start today on the top part of, first off, it's a mess. Anytime you build a shelf, it becomes a shelf. We're getting all this off today, and we're going to start figuring track out up here in Industries. With this being 14 feet long down there, my goal or my plan is, give me a second, let me go get that, I'll show you. Okay, so my plan is to put this up here, and I'm gonna run this down, and it may not be up against the wall because of the height right there, right? So that we may not be able to run a locomotive, so it might come out like this. But regardless, I'm gonna get 2 sets of these and I'm gonna run that all the way down the wall. So the 2% grade is 12 feet. That gives me 2 feet down there, and it drops 4.5 inches to the bottom. So I did do a little bit of a mistake. I got 16 inches of clearance between here and here because I'm so big I can't get in the back. So and I didn't want to take away from the seam down here. So that equals out to about almost, I think it's 20 inches to the top of this. So to be honest with you, from the bottom of this to the top of this is about 20 inches. That's a big gap, but I've got to make up that difference between, what is that? So just real quick math. If we do 4.5 inches from top to bottom, that's 9. So I got to make up 11 inches. So I'm going to make probably a couple of loops back over in this corner. So as this one will be coming up 4.5 inches and this one will be coming down. So in this corner, I'm going to have to make a small helix, and it's going to be dual main up, dual main down. So this actually is not going to have anything to do with switching or anything. I need to bring this over, and so I can use the bench work. And to be honest with you, I might put a piece of foam that sits up here and sculpt it to look like a mountain and hide it. So we'll get to that scenery stuff when I get to that. The main thing for me is to finish the track up here, see what I got going on up here, get some of this stuff off of here, and then we can start planning on how to enter with both of these lines this way and these lines this way. So this is temporary. This is not staying in. Which gives me an opportunity for a possible piece of industry or real estate on this side. So as we go through it, I don't really track plan. It's just one of those things where I just like to see how it goes and let my imagination run away with things. And to be honest with you, I don't have a particular industry I'm trying to, or to let me rephrase that. I don't have anything like as far as operations in mind. I do like some switching and playing around, but the main thing for me is the goal is just to let it run. And I bought the Roundhouse to have storage for the locomotives. I needed storage for cars, and I just needed to downsize this layout because that middle peninsula made this room so small, and it's not a huge room anyway. It's my bonus room. And I just like running. That's why I like different eras. I like those steam locomotives. I like diesel. I like modern diesel. I like them all pretty much. So I don't really track plan because, and I know you probably should and this and that, but I'm kind of custom building this into the layout into the room, and it is what it is. I just like to use my imagination and see how I can do things and do all and to have fun with it. So that was a real quick update. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. We're just keep going. I mean, we're a little over a week of doing this stuff, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out, especially the bottom section. I'm excited about the top and working on the mountain, and I'm actually ready to just get some fascia on here and stuff like that. The scenery, I'll get to that when I get to that, but just to have the trains be able to run is enough for me right now. So again, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great weekend coming up, and I know it's hot outside for a lot of us, so stay cool. If you're working outside, take breaks, and take care of yourself. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day.